we've made a tinder bundle. We're going to talk a little bit about the construction of the actual fire itself, because you're going to need that today. We have to build all of our fires in these containers here. We can't have them on the ground, but that'll actually be to your benefit, because you can concentrate your fire. You can make what's called a Dakota fire pit outside. It helps hide your fire, but you can also use it for cooking. It's just a U-shaped design underneath the ground. Military uses a lot to hide their fires if they're going to make a fire at all. But you can use it for cooking, much like what we're doing here. And then you don't have to worry as much about the fire spreading. But before we get to that, feather sticks. Now this one's been split. It's one way to do a feather stick. The more common way is to feather this out. So to get little shavings come off of that, you're increasing the surface area so the fire can actually have something it can burn quickly instead of trying to burn through that stick. So if you don't have a lot of twigs, twigs will be a good option, but for these larger sticks, to get them started, you want to feather them as much as possible. Anyway, I'm just doing a really quick demo. You can split them like that, a little bit more dangerous because you run the risk of actually contacting yourself, but a lot of times that'll happen on something that's pretty dry. It'll break up like that. That's what you want to go on the bottom. And when you stack your fire, when you're trying to get it to go, your tinder bundle would go in the middle and you would TP it. The reason we're using a TP to get the fire started is because we want 45-degree angles, because fire will burn up that faster than any other position you can place those sticks in. Now, if you're trying to build long-term fires, you can lay them in a long fire. So if these were huge logs, you can place them on each side of you. Let me get some other ones where I can represent some logs. So let's say we have long logs that are pretty big and they're punky. You can lay in between this. A lot of times what will happen is the smoke will rise and stay above you, so you won't breathe it in. Not all the time, but you could do that. Worst case scenario, if you didn't have a shelter, you knew it wasn't going to rain, you could lay between those fires. Another way to do it is like a star pattern. So let's say these are some fairly large logs. You build it like this, and then all you have to do is grab the ends of those logs and pull them in over time. That burns slower, and you don't have to get up each time. You have a star formation of about 8 to 10 logs, and you just pull them in, go back to sleep. Once those burn out, pull them back over the coals, go back to sleep, and they'll self-manage themselves. And that's really for big logs that you're trying to burn down, so you don't have to keep getting up during the night. So feather sticks will help you get it going. So all your twigs and tinder bundle will go in the center. Tripod them, build it up. 45-degree angle is optimal. That's how those fighters got killed, is they try to outrun a fire going up an embankment. They might have been able to outrun it depending on the winds on a flat surface, but trying to outrun it on an embankment, you're never going to outrun it, because that is its perfect angle for it to catch other things on fire in front of it, and then it gets all this airflow behind it and it just pulls it up. The same thing happens on a fire like this. It'll start to pull air into it and it'll burn faster, and it goes up that angle really quick. So that's how you're going to get your fire started. You're going to want to make small fires today and stick them in these containers, because I want you to boil water. The reason I have the water making after fire, obviously, is because boiling is probably our easiest method. It's not the gold standard distilling water would be, but you're not always going to have the equipment. And I'm trying to connect key concepts of this course. We've got shelter out of the way. We had to use cordage to do that. Then we built some sort of primitive fire. Now we're using that primitive fire for boiling water. And it helps you relate these key terms. Those are your big three: shelter, fire, and water. And then we get into food. Food is the fourth, but those are the big three that we want for short-term survival. And I'm just trying to give you repetition, because friction fire is so tough to learn. You need repetition. So I didn't just introduce it to you, you were successful, and then we stopped. I want you to see how these skills are connected in those key concepts.